Good day, this is Lewis with Farming Smarter. I am here at our sugar beet inter-row seeding research trial today. So this is a trial, it's part of our Saving Soils initiative. So it's an initiative that's looking at a lot of cover cropping options and some of the tools that we can use to manage soil erosion, certainly here in southern Alberta over the winter. We're focusing a lot on sort of the high disturbance crops, and sugar beets is definitely one of those high disturbance root crops, and it's really challenging to manage that soil erosion in the fall after harvest, especially one, because there's quite a bit of ground disturbance when sugar beets are harvested, and two, they're harvested quite late, so could be middle of October, later than that even. And at that point, so we did an initial run on this trial last year where we tried seeding cover crops following sugar beet harvest, and it was quite an open year, quite warm, and even at that stage there just wasn't enough daylight, there wasn't enough warmth, wasn't enough sunlight to get those cover crops established. So round two this year, what we've done is we've gone in and seeded some potential cover crop options between the sugar beet rows. So we've used the monostem planter on 22 inches, set our tires to go in between the rows, and then we're seeding those cover crops in between the rows. So we're getting quite close to canopy closure now. I think, you know, by the end of next week or a little later, that canopy will be totally closed up. So we're hoping that we've timed it after all the herbicide applications, so there might be one more passive Roundup here, you know, in the next few days before our cover crops come up. And at that point, we're hoping there's enough sunlight, there's enough warmth, there's enough moisture, those cover crops get established, and we'll kind of see how they go. So the sugar beet tops will kind of close in and get that canopy closure. So we're hoping to get some establishment on those cover crops so that when we do harvest the sugar beets, there's something there to kind of maintain soil structure and prevent the wind erosion. So for this first go at the project, we've done a lot of winter crops. So we've got some winter peas and lentils, fall rye, winter wheat. So these are crops that, you know, once those sugar beets are out of there, you know, they may have some growth or be able to continue to grow a little bit before winter, and sort of provide that cover. We've also included some sorghum Sudan grass, and this is sort of a late season, warm season crop that we're hoping can really grow pretty fast, pretty quickly. May be able to even breach the canopy depending on how things go. So we thought that was a fit into this, and corn is the last option that we've put in. So and we've done fairly robust seeding rates as a sort of proof of concept. So we've given it sort of the best opportunity to grow, and then we'll see what we learn from this year and what we can adapt moving forward. So perhaps, you know, different seeding rates. We could perhaps look at earlier inter-row, you know, placement. So yeah, a lot of things in the mix, but I think a pretty good first step at something that we think, you know, may have some real potential to combat that erosion. So we'll be back here. We'll take a look at these plots again in a few weeks, and when these cover crops are coming out of the ground, and hopefully we'll get a little more insight and hopefully we'll get a better idea of where these things are going to go and what's going to be competitive. So yeah, we'll check in a few weeks.